Okay, guys, like to go ahead and open up the Q&A session. And I hate to say it, we've lost our speaker system for tonight, so I'm going to have to try to speak up. And so, yeah, you're going to have to kind of keep it down because I'm not talking very loud these days. So, so we'll do the best we can, and we'll go from there. Can I repeat that? All right. And I kind of like to open up the old Q&A session with what's that? Can't hear. Can't hear. Geez. I got. Oh no, we don't have speakers. I have to yell.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's.
Do you want me to shut that door?
That would help, I think.
I want to go
Oh,
out.
shoot, look at the other one. Oh. Who's the, who did the, website?
Plan, and we had an intern do it. Yeah,
Okay, I'd like to get one done so that we definitely talk to.
Let's put out a few more for us because I thought she was doing,
She
making
did.
it work.
Really nice job.
He hasn't got back yet.
I spent, so I wanted to see what kind of charge.
She was looking at $500.
Okay, that's a little higher than what competitor is for others, but I thought she did a really good job and simplified things. I like them simple, and I like them direct, and I like them where you can tell what's going on.
Mary, you got a blue ticket?
Yeah.
All righty, guys. Windows
Maybe
news.
not.
What's new in Windows these days?
Yeah.
And it's always changing, that's for sure. Things happen fast in the Windows world.
Okay.
Found one on the floor.
Okay.
One of them glorious.
Just want to remind you, if you're on Windows 10, Windows 10 is gonna basically be done with, as far as security updates. That's gonna be October 14th. Nothing has changed there. The requirements still to go to Windows 11, they haven't changed a thing. So you still have to be on the proper CPU list. So your processor has to match. You have to have enough memory, 8 megabytes. You have to have enough display memory. And the big hang up these days is the Trusted Platform Module, TPM, and it's got to be revision 2.0. And we're going to talk just a little bit about why that is and why Microsoft is really pushing that as far as pushing it towards Windows 11 and Copilot PC, basically. Well, we might as well talk about that to begin with. Microsoft would love you to buy a brand new PC, especially if it's it's a Copilot plus PC. That's with the NPU, the neural processing unit that helps with the AI, and that does work really nice. But I think a lot of their incentives is the turnover, the amount of money they can make, change it over to get everybody to get on a new system is really big. And unfortunately, the feeling is that they're really not looking at consumers as far as what our needs are. They're looking at business and what their needs are, because that's where their bucks come from. Also, Microsoft has just confirmed. Everybody, is anybody using passkeys right now? Raise your hand. You will be soon. Microsoft is doing away with passwords. So password accounts are going to be a thing of the past. The way that's kind of coming about right now is if you use Microsoft Authenticator on your phone or like 2FA, there's also the ability to save passwords in Authenticator. Well, the first thing that Microsoft is going to do 2 months from now is passwords will no longer be saved in Authenticator. So everybody is going to be slowly but surely going to passkeys. So you think about it, actually it's going to be a really good thing, I think, down the road. Because what it is, passkeys, the way they work, they're very device dependent. So you set up a key system between, let's say, your phone and whatever website you go to. and it authenticates you through biometrics, which is gonna be a facial scan, fingerprint, or they're still gonna allow you to have a PIN, which is really nice. That's the way I get in anyway, is a PIN number. How many people use a PIN to get on their computer? And what's it?
Mark, what is the difference between a password and a passkey?
Pass keys. Well, passwords are, if you will, it's symmetrical security. So what happens is when you go on a website, you create your own username, right? And you create your own password. That password is known by whatever website you go to and you. So you're sharing that information, that security, with a website out there. The way passkeys work is it's asymmetrical. Passkeys are set up to where you set up a passkey with that website you're going to. And the way that works is you set up a key system on your device. It's either going to be your laptop, your desktop, or your phone, or your tablet. It's going to create the passkey on there for you. And then when you go to a website, it's going to be what's called a public key. So your computer setting up a username with a passkey is going to set up a public key. Everybody can have that public key. You can give it out to anybody you want, which is fine. It's, that way your password is security, because they can't get into your computer unless they know the right passkey on your computer. So the way that works is once you get your passkey set up, let's say you want to log into your bank account. It's going to say, okay, give me your fingerprint. So you put your fingerprint on your phone. It initiates the communication to the website, to your bank. The bank has, oh, I got a public key for you. And what it does is it makes up a number and it encrypts it using their public passkey for you. It sends it back. And what happens is, since you have your private key, it gets decrypted on your side. If it's successful, then you get logged in. If it's not successful, that keeps the bad guys out. So they can't just know your password and they can't get your passkey, because your passkey, your private passkey, is on your device. And that's where TPM 2.0 comes in, is passkeys are saved on that device. And that's why there's this big push to go to Windows 11 with TPM 2.0. So that's where the private keys are actually stored on your device. Yes.
Okay, so basically is what you're trying to inquire is that when using a passkey is the most secure way to keep your password safe versus using a password, because that hackers can get into your password if they have like your backups of if they hack your system or hack your Facebook or whatever it might do. And you have to constantly change your password so many times. But with passkey, you don't have to do that.
Right. Passkey you create one time, you're done. Passwords, you're right. Passwords are 99% of the violations as far as hacking and that sort of thing are done by passwords. And that's what Microsoft has tried to get us away from and onto a passkey system. So actually the next presentation after AI this time, next month, is going to be passwords, passkeys, and password managers. So we're going to talk about passkeys, why they're a good thing and why we're headed that way. And eventually, I think everybody will be real happy with them, because it is actually a quicker way to log in than using a password. And you don't have to have this, how many people have a list somewhere of passwords? Yeah, everybody knows, right? So, yeah. Yeah. So, yes.
Each device that you use,
Now,
phone, tablet, computer.
well, that's the nice thing is, I believe the way this is going to work is it's going to be you can share your passkey with multiple devices for you. So it's going to be set up that way, but it'll still be set up device dependent.
The
So-
password also work yet?
Well, passwords are going to die eventually.
It's gonna die?
Yes. Yep. Passwords will be gone away sometime or another. You're going to have to log in using a PIN facial recognition, or most likely a fingerprint. Yeah,
That my third generation SE is not facial recognition, but there is a good thing. There is a fourth generation coming out in a couple of months for this brand. So that will have facial recognition. This one does not have facial recognition. So I have to rely on fingerprint and passcode.
yep. That's the way they're all headed down. Fingerprints, passcode. If you don't have a camera for some reason or another, then you could use your PIN to get in. So there's ways around it, but it is gonna be a better system, I think. And it hopefully will save us billions of dollars being hacked eventually.
I gotta make an appointment.
Gotta make- Like I said, I hope to cover that during our next meeting. We'll talk more about that. Cause there's a lot of different password managers out there, and we'll get a better handle on how to set up a pass key and why this is gonna be a really good thing eventually.
Almost sounds like it would be easier for the cyber criminals to go ahead. It's just numerical system passkey? Is it
Well-
fully numeric or
It's encrypted,
it's encrypted?
yeah. So you have to know, you
Are a
have,
lot of things encrypted, but their cyber crooks are getting into them or?
well, it's a lot more difficult I mean, right now, they're starting to get into 2FA systems, the two-factor authentication. So, the number you send back to an authenticator, you have to have that 6-digit number that you put in. Hackers are starting to have the ability to intercept those. So this is actually a more secure system than that because it's encrypted going both ways.
Is encryption something that changes automatically within the system each time? If something's encrypted, does it?
Yes, every time a connection is attempted to let's say a website out there that you need to connect up to with the passkey, it generates a random number that you have to know when it sends back that can be decrypted to match. So yeah, it's kind of on the fly encryption. But it should be a lot more secure than passwords, that's for sure. Because passwords are, unfortunately, they're pretty easy to hack. Especially with the computer power out there these days, it's getting easier and easier.
I've always wondered about facial recognition. What if I put a big photo of myself?
Wow, I don't know. I've never tried that. That's a good question, though. I don't know. I think that, I don't know if a picture would work because I kind of doubt it. Yeah, I think it probably picks out specific details in your facial, in a live shot rather than a photo. But you never know. It might be something to try.
May play around with
And you
it.
have to try that. Yes.
These passkeys going to apply to Apple products as well?
Oh, yes. I'm sure Apple products are already using passkeys. Geez, in fact, most of the web browsers that you use these days, Google, Chrome, which almost all websites these days are based on Chromium, which is Google, are going to passkeys also. So everybody's kind of headed down that road.
How quick are they gonna phase out the password?
It's gonna take a while. Passwords aren't gonna go away overnight. They're definitely nudging you in that direction, let's put it that way. So everybody is being nudged into passkeys. So like I said, their first shot is the Microsoft Authenticator, which saves passwords, and autofills, which is really nice. They're gonna, in about 2 months, they're just gonna say, those passwords are gone. So then you can use the authenticator to authenticate with, and create passkeys, but you can't use it as a password manager anymore.
What
Microsoft Edge will.
What is the difference between a passkey and a password? Is this numbers or is that letters or what?
So, yeah, the passkey is highly encrypted number.
Numbers?
Yeah, I believe it's numbers that are passed back and forth. So it's encrypted numbers. So it's you know, it auto generates it, and that's the way it's stored. My understanding. So it's nothing that you can kind of guess as a phrase or anything else. It's one of those, you know, because that's the way a lot of password crackers go in, and they start with just, you know, they'll go with probably the quickest and the easiest is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, we used to use that all the time. You know, you have set up a new system. What's the first password you use? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or use password. You know, how obvious can you get? That's kind of the way it works. And the power these days, they can try billions of combinations to come up with stuff. So it's going to be a little different world, but I really think eventually it'll be better.
You're way too optimistic.
All right, the other thing I wanted to talk a little bit about, I found a very useful app. How many people have used the Microsoft PC Manager? So if you go to the Windows Store, let me see if I can light this up here. Let me see if I can share my screen. So if you go to the Microsoft Store and you type in up here under search for apps, PC
Manager.
Yeah, and you'll see it right there. So I've already downloaded it here, but that's what you would do to get this. And it's actually a Microsoft product that does some pretty nice things. As far as maintaining your laptop or your PC, it's really kind of cool for that. So once you get it and download it, you just open it up. It'll open up this little panel on the side here. Let's see if I can get this out of the way. It'll come up this way right at the home first. And the first thing you'll notice is a little button there right in the middle. It says boost. And what that does is it'll clear out any temporary files or anything you have hanging around. It'll also check your memory and start freeing up memory that doesn't need to be used. So it'll automatically, just by hitting this little boost button, I'm going to click it here. There, got rid of my temporary files and got a little bit of memory back. So it'll improve your memory, and depends on how much memory is in your machine, could make a big difference in the performance. There's also a couple things under here, under the home page of it. Deep cleaning, that's if you want to get rid of all kinds of old temporary files or files that are in your recycle bin. You can click on that and it'll actually scan your hard drive or your SSD, and it'll make recommendations on things you can get rid of. So it just kind of helps you keep things clean and operating nicely. The second one down from home is called protection. At the very top there, you can do a scan, and that scan will automatically start up Windows Defender and load it and run it for you. So it's kind of a shortcut. You can actually go through the settings and go to security and do the same thing. But PC Manager just provides you with a nice shortcut to do that with. Also under that same protection button is Windows Update. So you can click on that and it'll actually tell you what things can be updated, especially virus definitions and also driver definitions, which are really nice. So if you have a new driver for, let's say, in this case, what do I got here? The Bluetooth system on my laptop and another one, Telnet. I can select that and it'll automatically update the drivers on it. I'm not gonna do that just right now because we got Zoom going. It'll probably throw everybody off Zoom. I don't wanna do that. So that's really nice to do that.
Have you got to download that Microsoft Manager or what?
Yeah, that's off the Microsoft Store. So go to the
You have
Microsoft.
to download it, it's not automatically put on.
Right, no, it's not something that comes with preloaded with Windows.
What, you go in a Play Store or whatever?
Not the place, the Microsoft Store. Yeah. If you look down at the very bottom of this screen, it's this little kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a suitcase.
No.
So that, once you pop that up, you just start typing in PC space M manager and it'll, it should come up there and show you that. Then you click on it, just say get, and it'll download it for you. But it has a couple other options that are really nice in here.
You know.
If you click on storage, that's another place where you can get down to deep cleaning. It'll help you find large files to get rid of if you want, duplicate files, that sort of thing.
It gives you a chance to look at what they're cleaning up. It looks like
Yep.
everything you touch automatically cleans everything up.
So if you go to scan, it'll do the scan and it won't clean it or won't get rid of anything. So you could deselect items. But I just take the defaults. I've been pretty happy with how that's worked out for me. Let's see, then under storage. Oh, sorry. Yes.
I wanted to know, is it something that you would recommend, and is it something like Larry that kind of cleans up your computer?
Yeah, it's a Microsoft product, so I'd have a little more faith in it than I guess a third-party software. Cause it's built for Windows. So yeah, it's a Microsoft product. And so it kind of takes the place of like a Wise Disk Cleaner that we kind of tell people how to use, that sort of thing. So it does the same thing. It goes through and it verifies or it just gets rid of temporary files and frees up disk space, that sort of thing. Cleans things up a little bit. So I just felt like it's a nice application for, to help you keep your system running little better, a little cleaner. Like I say, you do anything I can do to boost my system performance, like just click a button to boost it, I'm all for that. Under apps, nice thing, if you want to see what your startup applications are, you click on that. And it'll make recommendations whether you can leave it on or turn it off. So that's kind of nice with these little switches here. Like, see, it says you may turn off, so you can just click on that. Rust Desk is actually remote control software. Does anybody use TeamViewer? No, Rust Desk is safe, so you can take remote control of another computer someplace else. And there's OneDrive, so you can turn off OneDrive here. So it gives you that option there.
Second one was you're able to control another person's computer, right?
Yes, Rust Desk.
Cause I vaguely remembered my teacher, Mr. Schrock, controlling my computer when I was in IT. And I never did ask what he used, so maybe that could have been it.
Probably was TeamViewer, my guess. TeamViewer is pretty popular. The Rust Desk unfortunately has got a bad rap because the hackers love to use it. So, that the tech thing that comes up to, with the sirens, everything else says you have a virus, this sort of stuff, call this number. What they do is, if somebody does call them, what they'll do is say, just download this little program, then we'll take care of all of it, the rest of it for you. Well, Rust Desk is a remote control program. And once you give them access to your unit using that software, and you said it's okay, then they have all your information. They instantly. So everything that's on your computer, they got access to automatically. So don't ever give anybody remote access to your computer over the phone. Never, ever, never, ever. Unless it's me, then it's okay.
And Mark, a quick question.
Yeah.
Is it default on every program that off is on the left and on is on the right? Because some programs, I come up with those and it doesn't tell you off and on, it just has the button that can go left or
No,
right.
I'll bet you it's pretty
And I'm
much whoever,
um,
whoever developed that application or program said, I'm gonna put the switch this way. So I don't know if there's any normal convention for that. One would think left would be off and right would be on normal, but that'd be my guess. But like I said,
The thing that gets me is it's automatically, if they're all just blocked or several, it's almost like they're saying yes and you gotta say no.
yeah,
And if you move over, you're, you know,
so I would think pretty much left would be normally defaulted off.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess.
like I say, on some programs, I've seen that where you know, if you click the button to the left, it's off, and if it's to the right, it's on. But I had several that I've come across recently that I just can't remember what they were, but I didn't know which was on and off.
Another one on here is really nice, is deep uninstall. Every program that you've loaded onto your computer, it's something that Microsoft puts on there for you. To uninstall them, you click on there and this little trash can comes up here. Let's see, let's say this particular program, MyASUS, I want to get rid of, you just click on that and say uninstall. And it'll go ahead and do it. And the nice thing about the deep uninstall is you have to kind of realize that when you uninstall a program using the normal method, there's kind of traces left behind. It doesn't necessarily delete every file that it created. This actually goes through and it tries to identify the leftovers and gets rid of them. There's also another program that I use called Revo Uninstaller. And it's really good about it because it gives you the option of make sure all your registry entries, that sort of stuff for that program get deleted also. But this is a good attempt, I think. And it's pretty easy to use that just to get rid of stuff. Another thing under the apps, did I talk about? Oh yeah, I talked about startup apps. Microsoft Store. Toolbox. Toolbox is just a bunch of little programs that they thought you might find useful. Like one is you can take a screenshot using this. Let's see, you can go to Notepad, and which is kind of useful. It's if you just tried to save some quick text, Notepad is a nice way to go. Unfortunately, how many people use WordPad? WordPad was a nice little program. It's a extremely stripped down word processor that Microsoft has had for years, and they've done away with it, unfortunately. So it's not Windows 11 natively. Yep, you can actually go find WordPad and install it, but it doesn't come installed to Windows 11. The Notepad is a nice little, like I said, it's just a little text editor. Programmers used to use Notepad a lot because it was just a lot easier way to grab things and copy things around. In the used to days, especially when you only had text editors for programming, it was stuff like that was important. Not so much anymore. Everything's a full screen editor. But there's other stuff in here. I mean, that like I said, editor tools and that sort of thing. But that's like I said, it's provided by Microsoft. I've used it quite a bit, been pretty happy with it so far. I can recommend it to everybody. There's also another one I'll probably cover next time. If you want to get into a little more detail on repairing your Windows installation, called Fixie Flyer. And it's a nice little program. What it does, we won't talk about it much today, but what it does is actually run things that you could run from the command line that you normally wouldn't think about. One of them is called WinGet. All the little programs that you have installed, how do you know if they're all up to date? Well, you really don't know until you go there. Sometimes they'll tell you there's a new update for it. But this little one-line editor, one-line command, widget, will actually go identify all the programs you have, go out there and look and see if there's any updates for it. And if there's an update for it, it actually runs it. So it's kind of nice. That way all your programs can stay up to date with just one click. It's kind of cool. And it's got, at least 24 commands like that, PlexiFlyer. But we'll talk about that one during the next session. But I definitely would,
Is that a Windows program?
no, PlexiFlyer is, somebody created it. And like I said, it actually uses all the Windows commands to do these things with.
Oh.
It's just, most people wouldn't normally do it because that's nothing I would know about just off the top of my head about how I can update all the programs, but it is a Windows command to do that. That's another thing Windows is supposed to do is the update that you do now with Windows Update, which updates to your security, Windows Defender and all that stuff. They're gonna start registering programs to say, if you want to be part of the Windows Update, you just add it to our list. And when they click on Windows Update, they'll update the programs also.
Am
Right
I the
now,
only
they're
one that
pretty
had
much-
problems with Windows Update in the past month?
Oh, there's a lot of
I-
problems
I-
with Windows Update.
Like,
Yeah,
you took care of my computer 2 months ago.
yeah.
And I wasn't gonna download, but it says critical download, the corporate. I downloaded it, was on for an hour, it got no pad, wouldn't go past 97.
That's,
And it just stayed there, so I shut the computer off because I had no other choice. And it happened on Windows 10 and Windows 11, so I'm ready to do myself in with
yeah, there's been some wicked
I
bad.
hate Microsoft.
Yeah, there's been some wicked bad updates and you can roll back like the update that it's trying to do there. But you have to restart it so you can get to it. Other than that, it tries to do the update again every time you reboot. So it's a real pain to get rid of it, but it's doable, but it's nothing that all of a sudden off the top of your head how to do it.
One of them did come up with a fix-it number or whatever the error code was.
Uh-huh.
I looked at the error code, but what I tendency, just like in the past with Microsoft, you even have Microsoft people saying, this is how you fix that. And you try to do it, but you should read further down because you'll find the people that responded to it said, it didn't fix it.
It's in the
No, you
door.
didn't do the right thing,
Yeah.
but it even screwed my computer up more. So I'm in the house like this.
Yeah,
Paranoid.
yeah, like I said,
Really go to the lab.
Yeah.
unfortunately, Microsoft has pushed out some pretty bad updates in the last. Oh, it seems like the last 6 months. Their big push to Windows 11 has really pushed out some bad updates.
Yeah, this is as recently as May 15th, something like that.
Yeah.
15th, 18th.
Yeah, somebody brought in a computer last week with the same problem, got to 98%. And I said, well, let it sit there for a while and cook. It'll probably get through. He said, I left it overnight. I said, well, okay, let's check this in and we'll roll it back. Okay, I can open up the floor to any other interesting questions might
Does
have.
it make any difference what kind of browser you use on that?
What kind of browser you use? Well, Microsoft obviously would love you to use their browser, Edge.
Yeah, I don't.
No, there's Edge. That's the way Microsoft monetizes giving away Windows, right? Is they collect data, and that's so does Google. Google collects data like crazy. I mean, if you do a Google search, all of a sudden you see all kinds of ads popping up for breath mints or whatever you're looking for.
Brave and DuckDuckGo.
Yeah.
And they really do get rid of all the ads and everything else like that.
Yeah, DuckDuckGo is a good one there. That's the one that doesn't transfer.
The only thing with DuckDuckGo is I can't copy the URL. It cleans everything up, so it's really private. But you go up to the URL if I want to send a link to somebody, and at least I don't know how to do it. It just comes up. It cleans. I like it, but
Yeah.
you only and it gets pretty fast, and it does that. No commercials, no ads, no anything.
Yeah, DuckDuckGo is one of those things that they didn't have their own browser for the longest
Well, I
time.
use both now.
Yeah, they have both. They have the search engine and the
Search
browser.
engine and browser. Yeah.
Yes, it is it.
That if you had to right click, there should be an option to copy, then you can copy it. And then if you open up a different browser, you should be able to paste.
I didn't try getting that confusing with using two browsers at the same time. Is that what you're saying?
No, you said you're trying to copy a URL and you couldn't.
In DuckDuckGo, it doesn't show you up at the top whether you, what URL you're on. It'll
Oh.
take you there and everything's fine, but it doesn't show it like with Edge.
I mean, you should probably try the bottom of the screen, because sometimes, with the newer iPhones, the search engine's at the bottom. So that's probably where it start looking.
I have a lot to learn yet. Am I the only else that had trouble with the updates on Windows?
Oh, there's,
Oh, make me feel wanted.
there's a few of them out there.
Alone.
No, you're not, believe me, you're not alone. Also, Firefox is also a browser that's getting a good reputation for their security these days. Brave, really was one of the best, I think, as far as not selling your information. But I've heard rumor that they're not quite as good as they used to be.
Yeah, I haven't used it in a while, but I did put it back on the computer. And
Yeah.
I kind of use an Edge right now, but I'm gonna go back to either one of the others.
Yeah.
I think DuckDuckGo, I'm gonna stick with both browser and search engine.
But yeah, there's several different browsers out there right now, and
Which one do you use?
I usually Brave for the most part. I've been using it probably for a couple of years now. I got used to using it. It's based on Google's browser. It's almost the same. It's called Chromium underneath. So they just put a little bit of different front end and a little better security on the front. But they had a little different take on it when they first came out with Brave. For just going on the web and searching around, they used to give you cryptocurrency called BAT. And so just for going on and doing what you normally do, you could get cryptocurrency. Well, you still do, but it's gone from pretty cool. You know, you actually make maybe a $2 a month or something. Now it's like 2 cents. So it's hardly worth the effort. So, but I do use Edge. Because it's Microsoft and I end up using it. And I hate to say it, I do like Chrome also. I mean, for some reason or another, I kind of have some apps or some websites I use Brave for, others I'll use Chrome for, and there are other ones I'll use Edge for. So I use all three. It's just, but probably 90% of the time I'm on Brave. Any other questions?